We back with another episode of the Coach Timo Show, man. This is Coach C, and of course, that is Coach Timo. All right, man. So after we done had some time to kind of think and vibe or whatever after this season, it definitely wasn't our goal. You know what I mean?
Right.
So how you feeling, or what do you want to say about how our season progressed as we went on?
I kind of, going into the season, had an idea about, every high school team, in the country, because of the way high school works, or how it's supposed to work. You have gap years. So you may have a year that you have a bunch of kids that's seniors. And then that following year, you don't have as many seniors. You have a bunch of sophomores and freshmen playing. So you have that gap year that you may take maybe a little different situation when it comes to, the results on the field. Now, with us, it's a little bit more different with the gap year. Yeah, we had a gap year. We had a lot of seniors. We started most of our seniors that first year we got here. And we had a 4 and 6 year. We could have probably close to been the 5 and 5 year with Royal Palm and a tight game with the Wire. It could have been 6 and 4. We came back the next year. We started a lot of young guys. Now with us, it's a little bit more different because, we just being real. Before we got here, if you take the 3 classes, the 23 class, the 24 class, and 25 class, Lake's probably lost over 20, 21 transfers.
Right.
Between the 23, the 24, and the 25 class, that graduation year. Now, I get it. Kids want stability and stuff like that. So when you get changed, I think after Shipman, Coach Ship last year, the year we was here with Ship, when he left, a lot of those guys left within those classes. So guys who was on that JV and that varsity program, when the new guy came in, they left. And you talking about over 20-some guys left. And those 20-some guys that left was pretty much either starting or was the guy at those other programs. You know what I'm saying? So there's not on just any guy leaving. The 20 guys that left was guys who, that went to some decent programs and was playing. So
not film at those other schools.
Right. So not to even go into those names of those guys and stuff like that, those schools, because I don't fault those schools for those guys going there. I just know how things work in high school football. They like stability and like guys, they know the coaches that's there and stuff like that. So Lake's lost over 20-some guys in those 3 classes. So the 23 class, the 24 class, 25 class this previous year, you're talking about over 20-some guys left the program. So our gap year, and we got hit with that.
Right.
So we play with a lot of young guys. Now, that being said, if we play our young guys on the JV level, we probably will be undefeated.
Right.
You talking about some elite talent that we had playing varsity as 9th and 10th graders. We probably got one of the best athletes, if not, I know in the county, but if not the state, in Duke. And he's just a sophomore. We've been playing JV in a regular program 9th and 10th grade year, and he one of the top players.
Playing both ways.
Playing every way, and he one of the top players in the state. You know what I mean? So, this kid's getting, ACC looks and stuff like that. Michael Kelly played as a freshman for us. You know what I'm saying? And the kid was in middle school last year, and I'm going to say it now, he's probably one of the top receivers that you'll see the next 3 years in our county, but he played as a 9th grader, started for us at the Ets. Zachariah Valquez started at tight end for us, was in middle school last year. Carl Velmont was in middle school last year, started at left tackle for us. Stephon Cooley started at left guard, sophomore. Sermon Kai Jacobs started the last 3 years for us, going to a 3rd year. Started the last 2 years for us, in the 2026 class. Our quarterbacks in the 2026 class. Makai Miller, 2027, started. You know what I mean? So all those bunch of those young guys that we played, those guys played JV, we undefeated. You know what I'm saying? But they playing varsity and playing against 18-years-olds. So we got 14 and 15-year-olds playing against 18-year-olds. Now, it's changed a little bit this year because now, our guys are going to be 16 and 17 years old, playing close to their age group. And we were really excited about all those guys just mentioned returning. You talking about Darwin, sophomore. You talking about Sean Cunningham, 9th grader. Khalil Koontz, 9th grader. Rocco, 9th grader. I mean, these guys all going to be 10th and 11th. Anthony Lopez, Stubbs, Antoine Stubbs. You talk. I mean, there's a lot of guys we have that's was in that younger group, and we knew that as coaches when we went into it that we got 14. Now we competitive. Now don't get me wrong, we line up every time. I don't care if we playing Bishop Gorman. We feel like we should win the game, but we also realistically understand that we're climbing out of the situation that most people is not going through, that we had to go through because of a lot of guys left the program. Now, with that being said, like you said, we had a talented 9th grade group, we had a talented 10th grade group that both came in with us, and then so now it should get very interesting as we go forward. But that's kind of what we was with it.
Yeah, I mean, with the like I said, with the young guys that we played, and I mean, I guess I should say this: how or what is it like trying to prepare young guys to play this varsity level? That they may play JV somewhere else, but for us, they're playing varsity level because we see the vision of what they're going to be.
Right.
But they also kind of look at what it's like right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's harder for young guys to handle losing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like, what is that like dealing with a lot of young guys playing on the varsity level while you're competing, but you still ain't winning games, but you're still trying to get these guys developed.
Right. The biggest thing I think when you're trying to do that is you're trying to get a 14, sometimes 13, 15-year-old kid to see down the line and see the vision. As coaches and adults, we understand because you kind of you cross every T when you're taking a job, so you know what you're going into. As kids that choosing a school, they don't know it like that. They just kind of choosing based on sometimes uniforms or whatever coach that's there or Hive or your zone or whatever it may be. So they're not thinking about it like that. You know what I mean? So these 14-year-olds going in thinking, we should win these games. You know what I'm saying? And I think the biggest thing for us is that we so routine based. So the minute they done, we move on to the next thing. They get the huddle install the very next day, whether it's Saturday or Sunday. Excuse me. They get the huddle install whether it's Saturday or Sunday. They get the game plan on huddle that weekend, so they're studying that. And then Monday, they're in the weight room, they're in practice. So it's kind of you got them going to the next thing very, very quickly. I think the hardest thing I would say is the bye weeks, because the bye week, they kind of get out of routine a little bit. And they got time to think. So when we hit a bye week after a loss, that's the hardest thing, because now you're trying to get them to transition to the next thing, but it's not a next thing that week. You know what I mean? And so I think to get them to understand, it's just keeping them in routine. If they stay in routine, they stay going, it's always going to be the next thing. And that's even when you win it. Because, you win the game, you still got to transition to the next thing. And I think because we are so routine-based like that, I think it keeps their head down, it keeps them grinding, and keeps them going to the next thing. I think, we got time to they don't have the time to kind of look around and start either pointing fingers or just kind of getting that old poor me type feeling. And one thing about our kids, we got football kids, man. We, the thing about it is we late. You know what I mean? So we have football kids, so they understand too. Like, oh, we 14, and then they'll tell the other team, oh, we 14. Like, y'all gonna be gone. You know what I'm saying? Y'all guys on JV, our guys playing varsity, and so they kind of that 27 class and that 28 class, they kind of they very strong together now. And then you couple them in with the 26 class. They have a little swag about them. You know what I mean? They kind of understand, like, we playing against 18-year-olds and we 14, 15, 13-year-olds, and it's a little bit different. A little different mindset that they have. They look forward to the future. They understand, like, where we at. We're not at the bottom. Right. When we got here, that's what we was. Right. Not at the bottom.
Thank God.
But we're not nowhere near the top. And we somewhere in that middle, because we play the games that we did win, or games that we were tight end, those teams want 4-5 or whatever it may be games. You know what I'm saying? And they seen themselves competing against elite teams like GC. You look at GC first half, it's a dog fight. Right. Second half, GC pulled away from us, right? But GC had, that number 57. They got
the running back number 6.
Yeah, they got a right tackle that's committed to Miami. They got some guys. But Lee was a dog. So you talking about first half, you back and forth. You back and forth with them. So, and then we playing, like I said again, with a bunch of 14 and 15-year-olds, and we're looking for the transition.
And with that, when you're evaluating each game, and saying some games, you obviously we losing, and some games we competitive in, we lose a close one or whatever it is. I mean, even in a losing effort, we still had positive things.
Right.
So how did you go about looking at film and still trying to picking out the positive, into showing the young guys, hey, listen, we can still we can do some things if we get consistent. You know what I'm saying? How did
Right.
you know? Or how is that trying to pick that?
I think it's easy because it's a sound system. If we were just throwing stuff on the wall and to see what sticks, it'll be hard to evaluate what success that they are having. But because we run a sound system, it's easy to go in and say, okay, you could tell the right guard, what's your rule, on this scheme. You know what I mean? He could tell you that, okay, but then and how the guy was playing, was it a 2 or 3? Was it a shade? What was it against you? Like why you based out? You should have been down. That kind of stuff. So you can easily see the transition of that and you can see the results of what happened. And then you can say, okay, well, we can always correct that. And then you can say, okay, we not nowhere close on this, and so we need to tweak that or whatever it may be. But then some things we was close on. So and I never say, anywhere I've been, the game's not won with schematics. I think, we got decent coaches here in the county. We got decent coaches. So, scheme wise, everybody pretty much doing the same thing, you know what I mean, for the most part. And I think, for us, I think the biggest thing has to be, is what we do in our off season. You know what I'm saying? And I think most of the time that's where the games are won, that in our off season. And we trying to just build up that younger group, man, and so we can look like varsity players. And I think that was the biggest thing for us when we go out there in pregame and we look to the other side and we just look at the size. But the size of those other guys been in that program 4 years or 3 years or whatever. We getting these kids straight from middle school or something like that. It's a completely different thing. So I look at that. I look at those kind of things like that. And so when I look at film from the previous game, I look at how close we are. Now, if that guy just in front of them just whooping them, or that guy just running by him, stuff like that, that's not nothing to do with scheme or anything. That's all that's straight up skill set or that kid been developing that particular program. And I can't really critique that, but I can critique if it's a kid that he matchups, the kid match up to. And if he lose that battle, whatever that may be, whatever position that may be, then we can also, we can coach that up.
Now going into the off season, that's me. That's one of my favorite parts of the football is just going into the off season. But one thing I say about you and our coach staff is that we evaluate everything. So how do you evaluate your off seasons compared to what you did before, compared to what you're going to do now? What stuff you're gonna keep, what stuff you're gonna change or whatever. So how do you kind of look at that when you develop the off season work?
Yeah, I think the temperament of the team, and I always try to make sure the off season fits what we want to do scheme wise. I just give you an example. If I felt like we was a run and shoot, or we're gonna be in 10 personnel most of the time, a lot of the off season gonna be a lot of speed stuff. You know what I mean? Because if we're not trying to, I don't want to say run and shoot is not a power game, it's a finesse game, but that's typically what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna throw the ball around, we want to be flexible, we want to be quick, want to have fast, quick twitch, that kind of stuff. Compared to if I was lining up in flex or wing T kind of or power I kind of stuff, then it's more sled pushing, it's more power clean and jerk mindset. It's more like that. So I try to always base it off the scheme that I think we're going to be, and I'm just using offensive terms, but also do the same thing for defense. So if I think I kind of base it off that, but for us, it's always going to be the same. We're going to do a lot of pushing and pulling. That's core. You know what I mean? A lot of pushing and pulling that we will do. I think we have to increase our sled. I think the first year we did a lot of sled.
Right. Yeah.
Second year we kind of came back off the sled and we did a lot of pre-workout kind of stuff. So I think we got to implement more sled in this 25 year. And I just think, increase the whole more push and push and pull. Now, I would also say, I think we got to look at last year. I think the first year we was high reps, high sets, right? Lesser weight. I think the second year we kind of somewhere in the middle. I think now this third year, I think we get more power because those guys have developed their muscles now because they've been 2 years with us. So now we could be more short, heavier reps. You know what I mean? And I think that's probably going to be our approach because the guys' body's starting to develop a little bit. They can do, the 3 sets of 5, heavyweight, 85, 75% kind of stuff.
With the young guys that we played, some of them did come in the summer last year, coming from the 8th grade year, but not all of them was in there summer consistently, man. So how do you even get them ready, or do you even get them ready for the mindset of how we work the weight room? You know, because some of the young guys won't come in and they ain't like, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, even the mindset, how do you even kind of talk to the young guys and, hey, like, we ain't the same middle school. We do things different here.
Right. So one thing about Lakes that we're blessed with, that we have 2 weight rooms. We have a football only weight room that's in the back of the school, and we have a like a student body type weight room in front of the school. And those younger guys who maybe projected more into the another year on the development level, we were probably going to split more this year, and most of the JV primary coaches are going to be having those guys at the top, and we're going to have most of the varsity guys that we project varsity guys work out in the back. The only time they pretty much come together is when we do some type of skill development in that phase 1 of that day. In the phase 2, we'll split, and the JV guys project it, and then the varsity projection guys will be back here in the back in the football facility area with the weight room, because you have more free weights back here than you do up top. And it'll get that number down, because right now we're looking at probably close to about 70 guys in the off season. And we didn't have that problem before. We had maybe 30 guys if we had that. To now that you're talking about 70 guys just in spring football. And so now we have to find a way to split that number up so the guys not standing around, even though we have a big weight room in the back here, but you still don't want 70 guys in the weight room, you know what I mean? So you kind of want to split that up. And we not as fortunate as some high schools that we can have a football class during the day. So a lot of our stuff is after school, you know what I mean? So we're going in the all season from 3:15 to 6 o'clock, 6:15. This in the all season. So because we get everything in from phase 1, which is speed and conditioning, to phase 2, which is the weight room, and then the nutrition part as well after the weight room. So we kind of so when it comes to those kind of kids like that, so they'll be gradually implemented into the system. Now those guys who project the varsity, they should know. Like, they should know how we go, how we gonna get it done. It's a little bit more different. But for those guys who we project gonna be JV, they'll get implemented. It'll get implemented a little bit more different way. Now the guys that wasn't here that summer, that we see are going to be a varsity player that's young, they'll be back here with some of the guys that we talked about that been in the program 2 years now. That they know how it is, so they're going to step up and lead that situation. And you talking about guys like, Sir Makai Jacobs, that's a no nonsense guy. You talking about Turmarian, that's a no nonsense guy. You talking about a guy like Makai Miller, that's a no nonsense guy. So you talking about those kind of guys when they back here in the weight room, it's going to be it's going to be a different approach. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're going to take it up.
Now with you take your the coach's hat off, you know what I'm saying, you put your parents' hat on, your dad hat on, man. Turmarian Moreland Jr. had a great season this year. I mean, he really definitely transitioned from his from his freshman year to his sophomore year. He made a big jump. I mean, big. You can just look at the film and see that, man. So like, how do you feel, and what do you got to say about that? You getting offers now and all that.
Right. So from a parent standpoint, I would tell anybody, like, for me, I never, people see how he playing this, how, being so young, things that he's doing, but I never trained him for football. Like, I never, get out there and train him. And even when he started playing Little League ball, I was the dad that stayed outside the gate, or I was in the car and stuff like that. And I would never give any opinion to the coaches. So if coaches even come to me like, hey, Timo, man, can you give us a pointer about it? I was like, no, y'all got him, y'all coach him, y'all do that. So I always try to stay out of it, because it's kind of hard to do that. But I knew high school was coming, that it'll be a little bit more different. But even in high school, as you guys know, I try to stay out of it most of the time, let you guys coach them up and stuff like that, because I got to be dad too 24/7 on top of being his coach. And I try to have that balance between the two. But when it comes to his success, it's kind of hard, man, because it's like any other kid that I'm coaching here. Is like, I think they look at me being so business minded that they feel like I don't see their successes, and I do. I do see it, but I'm so wired in my mind. Let's get to the next thing, and I'm always gonna try to correct the mistakes. And but the things that when he do certain things or whatever it may be, that I definitely said in my head, like, that was a nice play or something like that. But when it comes to the expectation, my expectation is high for him. So it's like the stuff he do, I expect. I don't look at him like he's a 9th grader or 10th grader. You know what I mean? I think, certain people was kind of, view him as, okay, he's still 9th, he's still 10th, stuff like that. I feel like, he come in the next 4 years, you should be looking the way you should be looking. And but it's kind of testament to how he worked too now. One thing about it, Duke might have came to us at 160.
Right,
what I mean? Duke kind of almost 185, 190. So it's not, it's not like he lining up and he looking like a 9th or 10th grader. He's not one. It's like it's a bunch of other ones. But I like being a parent, you see it and you're proud of them and it's legit. It's legit. And that's one biggest thing I had when it came to the county, man. Like, and I'm not just saying it's a county problem for us, and it's gonna go a little bit off subject, but I just remember around this time, come January, you know what I mean, and you seeing these kids and they're announcing that they what is it, AGTG? What's the All Glory to God or something like that? Something like that. Whatever they do, and they say, blessed to receive this offer from so and so and so and so and so and so, and and been doing this stuff for so long, man. And I know a lot of these coaches around the country, and I know those guys don't really have legitimate committable offers from those schools. And you get to this time again, you look back, say, man, like, and not to call schools out, but you look back like, man, they had that kid.
I got some names in mind right now.
That kid announced he had 10 offers. You know what I'm saying, between January and February, and this kid going to, I don't even want to call that school out, but this kid going to that school,
right?
You know what I mean? Which is, not a Power 5 kind of look, but but that kid is announcing that. You know what I mean? That kid is announcing that, and I put a lot of the onus on the head coaches because I'm hearing the same conversation when schools come in here. You know what I mean? But when schools come in here and say those kind of things about whatever kid I got, I'm not telling that kid that unless I know it's legit. You know what I'm saying? Unless I know it's legit. And you're not going to come here to Palm Beach Lakes and see him that day and say, we offer him. Because I know how the process works. You got to take that information back to your school, wherever school institution you come from. You got to have a meeting. You got to be, you got to evaluate the player. You got to sit down with a group of coaches, move the board around, whatever it may be. You might need to get a kid on campus so you can see him in person, a junior day or something, for it to be a legitimate offer. And there's a little bit off subject, but I just I hate this time when kids go through that. I have no dog in the fight with no other situation, but I just hate when those kids go through that and then you come back and whatever it may be. I know some guys just doing that to keep the kid into their program. You know what I mean? I know some guys do that to keep the kid into their program or don't want the kid to transfer and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you kind of hurting your program because at the end of the day, that's eye-opening, to guys that know, like this kid had, this kid named in top 5 and top 6. He cut his list down to top 5 and top 6, and you get to January, the kid ain't got nothing. You know what I mean? And look at the county in itself. Most schools, you ain't signable about 2 or 3 guys, Division I, F that. And those are elite schools. I'm talking about the West Bocas,
right,
who won state. You know what I'm saying? You might have signed 3 or 4 guys. The Atlantic, who probably should have went to state. You may sign 2 or 3 guys. Carl Newman, same thing. You know what I mean? You probably had opportunity to go to state, 2 or 3 guys. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't, if I see a team and you got 7 guys that announcing in January that they got committable offers, I know that's a lie. You know what I mean? I know that's a lie. So, most schools ain't coming in and getting that many kids like that. You know what I mean? Just, and especially with a porter now, you lucky to get 2 or 3.
Like, so with that, so, I stay on it with that. When if a coach comes to, and it's just not specific to Lakes, it's just to the county. When the college coaches come in and they're selling these dreams and they saying, oh, blah, 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 you got an offer. When you as a coach know that this ain't no real offer, what do you tell that kid? You know what I'm saying? Do you go back and tell the kid, it ain't real? Do you tell them don't post it? Like, you know what I'm saying? What from your perspective,
Yeah. So I give an example first and then I answer that question. Duke freshman year. I don't want to say the team name because, I think it's a violation for you be talking to them as a freshman. But, some ACC, some SEC teams came in, right, in January. And we slow the post with that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? We slow the post when we're saying what schools on campus and stuff like that because we don't want schools to violate because we know who they're coming to see, and people put 2 and 2 together like, okay, they came there to see so-and-so, he only this age or whatever. So we don't have some SEC teams and some ACC teams come in. And I respect all the schools that come in and say certain things and stuff like that. But I don't tell him. So he only hear about the ones that I know that's legit. You know what I'm saying? I had one come in, a school that I really, really respect. And the guy came in, and spoke with him probably close to an hour and talked about real life stuff. You know what I'm saying? Real life stuff. So I was able to get work done because he's sitting there. So talking about real life stuff. Football, probably about 10% of that. He talked about real life stuff. And then he said, Junior, we're not going to offer you because, we don't believe in doing that like that, but we do it. I think he said like your spring, June years when we first do it. Like, it's just our rule. You know what I mean? Whatever. But I respect the fact that when he came in, the conversation you had with him. And so that guy was always, like I told him, from time to time, you and I talked to him, like, that's respect. I give you respect for that.
Right.
The way Syracuse did it. Syracuse been on him almost a year since, from, part of his 9th grade year and stuff like that. And they never verbally offer him nothing like that. You know what I mean? When they offer him, it's, it's the entire staff in this conversation.
Yeah.
It's not one guy saying, I just like his film, now we offer him. It's an entire staff making his decision. And they had a great year this year, actually. But it's a entire staff. You know what I mean? It's them building that relationship with him, talking with him, and just, bigger than football. You know what I'm saying? So, when it comes to kids like that and getting those opportunities, I don't, because I just think about you stunt their growth. You know what I mean? If I tell a kid who's 14 years old and he getting a lot of attention, or 15 years old, he getting a lot of attention, the minute I start telling him, oh, this school is da-da-da-da-da, you'll see that work ethic, it's starting to drop now. It don't go up. It don't work that way.
Right.
It don't go up. It stays somewhere in the middle, or it drops, or whatever, or you start to look around, I can increase this by, going down here to 954, 305 to school and increase that number from 8 to 16, or, how the kids think. So, it's so you'll start seeing that growth stunt. You'll stunt their growth a little bit. So I try to, get them enough information to let them know, like, listen, first of all, you only can choose one. You only can choose one school. You can't choose 16. I don't know this whole movement of just announcing you got all these offers, but you only can choose one of those things. But if you just keep the main thing, the way that you work, you keep the main thing, the way that you work, that 3 gonna increase anyways, that 10 gonna increase anyways, that 8 gonna increase anyways. But it has to be legit. You know what I mean? It has to be legit. I remember when we had King Dent over there at Palm Beach Central, and a school came in that was like an FCS school or something like that. And King had to be about a 4-5 star just at this particular time. And the school came in and say, talking to one of the coaches or whatever, and say, oh, coach, yeah, we here to see King. And so we like, coach, like,
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, coach, we got all these players out here.
Right.
Like, King ain't going there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If King go there as a staff, we felt. You see what I'm saying? Just having respect at that time to the situation. We like, but we got some guys who will be a steal if you take them. You know what I'm saying? King ain't one of them. You know what I mean? King not one of them. Ryan Robinson not one of them. Renato Brown not one of them. Jake Ray wasn't one of them. You know what I'm saying? But the other kids, that we had opportunity to go there. So I just think, like, sometimes schools also has to be, just have to be straight up with these kids, because a lot of times they're not going through the coach no more. They going through Twitter account that we have no control over. They go right into the inbox and they tell the kids whatever they're gonna tell the kids. Now, one thing we do have, we got kids that eventually tell us, right, coach, this is what's going on, and then we know right now, hey, boy, that's not a real. Right. Don't post that. Take that down.
Take that down.
Take that down.
We quick with it.
We quick with it. You know what I mean? Take that down. So we ain't like other schools. We ain't gonna tell you, boy, take that down, man. We're not doing that.
Yeah, because even like I said, we talk all the time, whatever, when schools come in, and we do be slow to post with some stuff, like, okay, because I'm glad the school came to see them, right? But I know he ain't gonna offer, so like, right. You know what I'm saying? You don't even want to post it because it's like, well, yeah, it's. I guess maybe to the outside, people may see it and say, oh, that school came. Right. But to us, the inside, I'm like, that school, they ain't going to offer them, so what's the point? Right. You know what I'm saying? So I be kind of hating.
But this also, you know what I mean? Like, I think, I don't want to, like, blow the spot of what's going on and stuff like that. All right, like, be honest, like, we have when you say like Palm Beach kind of Hall of Fame, like when you think about like some of the greatest coaches we have around the area, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever how people feel about Jack is up there. Jack, one of the top coaches, has been doing it a long time around here. You know what I mean? You know, we had like Dawes back in the days at Vista. You had Dickman down at Bridge that put time in. You had Tharp, you know what I mean? That's just current recently left Jupiter that put a lot of time in. You had Coach Cole. That recently was in the county that put a lot of time in.
Poking.
Right. You know, different ones, right? So when you come to and then the one just took the job at Wellington.
Came from Glazed Day.
Coach Walker, right? You know what I mean. So these are legendary guys. So when schools come into the county, most of the time they stop and pretty much to every school in the county.
Right.
They're not like just going. They're not coming in unless you just like again when we was at Central, right? You know, teams coming in just to see King, coming in just to see now. They all flew in just to see those kind of kids, whatever. So I kind of and they made another start and they got out of here type deal. But in our county, you know what I mean, probably you're going to get close to that a little bit with probably a couple of schools. Because I think the kid from West Boca probably one of the top running backs in the country, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? So, you know, you may have a couple of schools here and there may go to look at him. But for the most part, they stopping by every school that potentially got that got an athlete. So when schools be posting, it looked crazy, but they, thank you. Give me
so
right, Georgia Tech for stopping in today. Okay, but Georgia Tech also stopped
everywhere.
Everywhere. So even down in Broward and Dade, you know, they stopped everywhere to see that, whatever, right? But you just constantly doing that because, you know, I guess it helps with
the aesthetic of your social media and other from the outside. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Then they stopping by the program.
Yeah, from the outside, it looks. You know, so when we be like, okay, we'll post something because to the outside, I know it look good.
Right.
But on the inside, I'm like,
it's crazy, right? So you know, it's kind of crazy. But you know, and it's tough. Like, you know, you see it like, you know, you're like, okay, but they stopping by everywhere, and like we know January, like we'll be sitting here posting all day long about who coming in to see number one. You know what I'm saying? So we'll know, like we'll be sitting here all day long doing that. You know what I mean? So obviously like we'll take a step back from that, you know, when it comes to January now, because we know most schools gonna be coming in to see, see a couple of our players here. And I'm not saying that should be a movement, everybody still start doing that, but I'm sure like West Boca ain't tweeting every single time a school come to see those kids down there. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure Jack not doing that at Newman. Every time a school come in to see kids at Newman, he'll be doing it all day long. You know what I'm saying? He'll be doing it, you know what I mean? Be doing it all day long. So I think we just got to start getting more serious about stuff around here, man. And I think that will separate us from down there in Dade and Broward. Like, you know, come on, man. Like, I'm sure Central, Northwestern, St. Thomas, they're not doing that every single. I don't think St. Thomas even post stuff like that. I really don't think. I don't think Venice Beach does it like that. Lakeland, I don't think Lakeland does it on that level like that.
They're doing it all day.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So, you know, you got to get to a point, you get a little bit more serious about stuff. And I think when you're not as serious about stuff, that you get tried as a program. Kids, colleges come in, they pull on your kids last minute. They tell your kids they got committable offers. Then you get to January, your kid going to Division III school or whatever it may be, but your kid done posted about 10 offers from that school, you know, from whatever schools all last January because you're not serious about it. You're taking pictures with guys. Now I get if you got a relationship with the coach, right? Like me and you really, really know each other. You may get a picture with your homeboy because your homeboy actually coaching now, or a kid you used to coach or whatever it may be. But if it's a random guy that you have no relationship with outside of being a business relationship, why me and you taking the picture together? You see what I'm saying? Like you came here, okay, coach, I respect you. I text you, man, hope you get back safe, da-da-da-da. But for me to be hugging you on the picture, saying you stopped by here, doing your job, stop by here, right? It makes it like a, it becomes like you unserious, like it's not a real situation. So they try you all kind of ways, you know what I mean? And they go down to Broward and Dade and they serious down there. You know what I'm saying? Because they understand I can't pull on this kid. I pull on this kid, I'm not gonna be able to come back on this campus no more. You see what I'm saying? Compared to down here, they just play, with Palm Beach kind of all kind of ways.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
And again, we ain't school I'm thinking about. I'm not gonna say the name, but but
I got about 5.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, this was one specific kid I'm just thinking about. Like, come on, how did he? And the school that he go to is not a bad school, obviously. Right. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, come on, dog. nigga done had about 13, 14 offers posted on the Instagram. I done seen it. And he's also that type of kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like them real offers. You know what I'm saying? But to see the kid at the school that he committed to was like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on with that program or whatever it is, but it's like, come on, like, y'all let these coaches play with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And some of them understand too. It becomes, I think a lot of times kids get locked into working with trainers, 707 and stuff like that. That's not passing the eye test, man. I'm telling you that. Get you behind, you got the film, get you behind the weight room.
Right.
Because when you get on the people campus, if you look the part, right? If you look like you can play Division I or whatever, Division II, whatever it is, most of the time those offers gonna become committable. But you get on those campuses and you 165, right? Or you're not as tall as they say you are, whatever it is, that's gonna hurt you. And again, I'm getting the coaches benefit of the doubt. Like, that's the reason why. Like, it's committable up till they get to the campus or whatever.
Sure.
So I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. Now, we know that's not always true.
Right.
It's conversations like, Coach, man, just say you offer them, so because if not, the kid gonna leave and go here and go there and go. Listen, man, it's gonna be only one state championship. Well, two state. In each class, one state champion. You know what I'm saying?
West Boca just got there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like it's.
There you go. Right. So it's gonna be one of them. So at the end of the day, you can't just sit here and be running that, because eventually you're gonna get called out on it. You know what I'm saying? And then now your program going the way it is. I just think like, and this conversation I had even when I was an assistant coach, I always felt that way. Everything I'm talking about. So it's not like I'm just saying this now as a head coach. I always felt that way as an assistant. And I would talk to those head coaches, whoever I worked for at the time, and I'd be having those same conversations like, man, we ain't finna be doing all that posting, taking, hugging people and all that kind of stuff. When people come on these campuses and trying to recruit these guys, I mean, they come over here to do their job. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And you just kind of, kind of just try to weed through what's legit and what's not, because some of it just really marketing for their school. Exactly. You know what I mean? I just remember years ago, a G5 type program came down and they probably offered 40 guys from Palm Beach to Dade. And I think the first 2 days, everybody just posting they got an offer from the school. Yeah. It probably had been over 40 guys. I mean, I'm just scrolling like, man, what is this? Like, they ain't got but 24 scholarships.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Exactly. And they offer 40 guys between the Tri-County area. It's marketing. It's marketing. And so I just hope we're a little bit more better this January. I really do. I doubt it. I doubt it with the social media stuff, but I just hope we're a little bit more better as a county this time around, and we're not just setting these guys up for failure. You know what I mean? I
mean, because like I say, we on social media. Hell, we're doing a show right now. You know what I'm saying? I believe in marketing. I believe in talking about the program. I believe in that kind of thing. So it's nothing wrong with marketing and everything like that. But when it's used to manipulate and deceive, you know what I'm saying? That's when it gets to, we post work most of the time. We working in there, you know what I'm saying? That's what we post. So, even with a Duke who's getting these offers and everything, we post something, but we don't post that. We don't post a bunch, you know what I'm saying?
He got his own social media.
Right, he got his own social media post, you know what I'm saying? So but I'm with you. I hope coaches, wise, get a little more wiser and smarter with that, and not just just try to be on the,
and not just that, you create division within your team. You know what I'm saying? And like you just out here said, like, when we get to that point of we get multiple guys that got committable situations, whatever, they're their own brand as well. Now they play for Palm Beach Lakes, but they're their own brand. Right. So they're going to post their own individual situation. Now we'll post when you sign. You know what I mean? We'll do that. But when it comes to people just offering you and stuff like that, it's a true story. I'll go out to Keem again, but Keem and Otto, I could say either one of those two. And there's a bunch of guys when I was with Doug over at Osprey. It's a bunch of guys. I mean, it might have been 16 guys signed Division I scholarships over at Osprey at that time. But I remember Keem had decommitted from Miami. We had no idea. So Keem we weren't on campus at the time. Keem had to be playing 707 or doing something, but he wasn't. We wasn't at the school or anything like that. But coach can't call. Hey, coach, man, what's going on? What's going on? Keem just decommitted from us and just decommitted. Coach, I don't know. I have no idea why. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I mean? Like, you got more connect. You know what I mean? I'll talk to him when we get back to the school. But come on, man. Like, I don't know why he do it. I have no control of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna do what they're gonna do because everything now social media. Like, long time ago, you had to go through the head coach with everything. You know what I'm saying? But as time, modern technology, you don't have to go through me no more to do all that kind of stuff like that. Now, we control Palm Beach Lakes social media when it comes to football, and then we try to make sure, like I say, everything is try to keep everything business, and like you say, we showing work and stuff like that within the program. But anything they do when it comes to their future outside of us, because we can't control those universities and stuff like that. We let those kids be their own brand, and you take care of that.
So, when it comes to recruiting, I mean, it's kind of hard because you can kind of, you can talk to people all your day, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people, coaches and players, parents, all of it, they get enamored when they see that logo on the shirt. And then, you know what I'm saying, and you just get, fooled. Like, oh, man, oh, damn, and he talking good, too. He's saying this, the other, but you ain't realize that he said the same thing to the other kid. And, you know what I'm saying? You ain't realizing your kid really ain't in the weight room like that. So when you compare your kid to that kid, you know what I'm saying, it's different. But, we'll see how that goes. But also with the other part of the offseason, outside of recruiting, is transfers. You know what I'm saying? With us, we haven't really lost anything. I don't think we lost. Year 2, I don't think we ain't lost nothing. You know what I'm saying? So how do you, what I'm saying? And to me, that's something to be celebrated. You know what I'm saying? So how do you go about, with you also, talking to the county in general, how do you go about trying to keep your players at home? Keep your players at the school?
So, that's a good question. I think when we first took over, wherever I've been, in this county coaching, wherever, everything like that, whether I was assistant or whatever it may be, we never really lost guys. You know what I'm saying? But never really lost guys. But also that we put things in place that you have the same thing here that you pretty much have at 90% of the schools that you're trying to go to. We probably got better, than 90% of the schools that you'll look around and try to go to. We've been perfect. Now we know that number ain't gonna be perfect forever. You know what I mean? So we know that we just live in a real world. We understand the reality of it, that we're not gonna be perfect. We can't be what happened here before we got here. We can't be what 23, 24, and 25 look like. We can't do that. We can't lose 20-some guys. And then, you completely starting over in an entire program. We can't do that. And we have not. So this is our first class that we have in this 26 that's come up that we have not lost a guy. When we came in, those 26 were sophomores. So we have not lost a guy that played varsity in JV from the 26 class all the way back to 26, 27, 28. The 24 and 25 class when we got in, those guys already had no transition out of the program before we got here. And like I said, again, the number's like 20 something that transition out of there. And what the formula for us, I can't even. First of all, they love each other, man. And a lot of those guys is from the same community. You know what I'm saying? So we don't. I think some schools run into a problem because you may have a kid at your school. We live in Palm Beach. The kids stay in Delray.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So all the kid homeboys and stuff like that play, somewhere in Delray or Boyne or Boca or wherever. So every time he go home, he hearing, hey man, we know all your homeboy, we play here. You know what I'm saying? You down there playing at so and so. So some of those schools, you lose players like that. Another way you lose players is because we talked about earlier. Some kids chase what other people got. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. We've been on both ends of the stick because, we was at the other program at Central that we had a bunch of guys that was getting recruited from Power Fives. And so they knew who the kids, people was coming to see. Right. So they would say, okay, I got to find a way to get over to Central and get next to Keem, and get next to Nato, get next to Brian, get next to Jake and Griff, get next to them and get myself looked at, because they're not coming to my school, they're going over there. You know what I mean? So not knowing they is going to your school, right? You know what I'm saying? They're just spending longer at Central. Right. You know what I mean? But they are coming to Olympic Heights, but they're not staying as long as they would stay if they was coming to a school that has a prospect that they're recruiting. So if there's a guy who they actually want to commit to their school, they're going to spend longer to recruit them. Now they did stop by the school, they just ain't spending there longer. And but the kids don't see that. They just, I'm gonna go over here because that kid got multiple offers from committable offer from these situations, or it's getting posted that he got offers.
Right.
So I need to go over here and get connected or get seen if I go to that school. So they transferring based on that. And you get to that crunch part. So you get some, excuse me, that get to that crunch part. They're juniors, not getting that many looks. And now I need to go somewhere, I need to get looked at. And then they go to another school or whatever it may be. You got some kids, man, going to 2 or 3 different schools, man, within 4 years. Excuse me again. Some going to more than that. You got some going to 4 schools in 4 years. You got some that went to 5 schools in 4 if they played the 8th grade year. So you got school, they're attacking it like that.
Yeah, man. And with that, like, I mean, maybe I'm not thinking about a bunch of different programs or different situations. I don't see a bunch of situations where kids don't have no offers and they go to a school and get offers. I mean, there are some, but they're not a bunch. You know what I mean? So like, when the kid may come to you and say, "Hey, man, coach, it ain't looking good over here. Like I ain't getting nothing. I'm trying to go to whatever school. I'm gonna get my offers over there." What would you say to a kid that's doing that?
And that's what I'm saying. Like I just think I think the same format that the colleges talk about is the same way. Like, if the kid from Boise, the running back, right? He gonna get the same opportunity he would have had if he went to Georgia. You know what I'm saying? So he got a better opportunity at the school that he's at with Boise because he got to rock more than
way more.
What the running back left Florida that went
ETN,
to right,
Trevor,
get more than what he got going on. So I would look at it from that standpoint that he kind of got more opportunities when it comes to that, than it is him going to Boise and then him going to another school like that. So I look at those situations of opportunity. I would say the same thing with the high school kid. You can go to a place that you feel like that's up. Like right now, and it's no secret. Like we right now in January 6th, and you see the run that Card Newman having right now, over the December break. You want to say, I think he got half of Benjamin, half of Gardens, some Hawaii kids going over there. So, you know what I mean? Like all of them going to stack that team up, you know what I mean? And I have nothing but respect for Jack and his crew over there. Nothing but respect for that. I know what Jack did over the years, within the county, how he just built that Hawaii brand up to what Hawaii was, when I was playing ball. And but kids want to go play for a guy that got that that
cachet, that
that
quote unquote juice
right about himself. And so I get that, but again, you go over there and you stack it up, or like a place like Chaminade or whatever, you go and stack it up. But you limit your opportunities. You limit your opportunities, and then you're gonna be college ready when you get to the next level because you didn't play that much at your high school because you didn't you pretty much didn't develop because you were behind 2 or 3 different guys. But you could have went to another program that got some stability, and you play get you a lot of snaps, get you a lot of. It's what it's about, man. It's about getting a lot of snaps, and because at the end of the day, the goal is to play at the next level. That's the goal,
Yeah, and with all this transfer stuff, and not every coach is recruiting and not every coach is selling dreams or whatever, but there are some schools where you got these coaches selling dreams. Oh, if you come over here, I'm gonna get you this offer.
Yeah.
If you come over here, you can get this offer. And this I was telling to an 8th grader maybe a couple weeks ago or whatever. I was like, your high school coach can't get you no offer.
Can't get you no offer.
He can get your film into hands, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Or get your film seen. But
you don't have to do that as much because they go in the huddle and find themselves.
But yeah, but you could do that. His kids emailed 300 emails themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No different than what a high school coach is. Now, some kids, some coaches may have a little more relationship with college coaches, but it's still, there's no high school coach that can get you an offer. Because if that's true, they could get anybody an offer. Right.
And then he wouldn't know the entire staff. I may just know one person on the staff. That one person can't go in until, it don't work like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So there's no high school coach can get you not one offer. It does not work that way. It doesn't happen like that. Man, your film is your film. That's your resume, man. Your film is your film, and then in your body, man. Take care of your body so you can look like someone when you get to those people campus, and so you look like something. But I don't like I say again. You try to give that information to the kids best way you could. You know what I mean? And And hopefully it started with, with our platform, that they kind of understand how the recruiting game works. But you definitely, no high school coach can get you an offer. Everybody works pretty much the same. Now, some may outwork the other ones. You know what I mean? However, but everybody pretty much work the same. Everybody is sending stuff to schools and trying to contact guys. Everybody on Twitter. Everybody, you can sit on Twitter right now. It's crazy how I see coaches just be atting guys and saying, "Coach, follow back. Coach, check your DM."
Mm-hmm.
Like, you shouldn't have to do all that, man. Right. Like, end of the day, if the coach supposed to do what they're supposed to do, the college coaches, they're supposed to be recruiting your school. I guess I'm young in the game when it comes to it, but we get a lot of traffic in here. I get a lot of traffic on the phone. Sometimes I don't even know how to get my phone up. I get a lot of traffic on that. I get a lot of traffic. They in my DM on Twitter and stuff like that. They don't have to at a coach and say at coach so-and-so, check your DM, or coach follow me back, or anything like that. No, you shouldn't. End of the day, it should want what you have. You know what I mean? And but I really do think that kids need to know that it's no school, no coach can get you an offer. No, you the one doing that. You know what I mean? If you got an offer, you did it. You know what I mean? I can't look at a kid and I know in my mind, okay, this kid probably won't start here. So how can I get you an offer to a school that's
right.
that's playing in the playoffs right now? You know what I mean? That's not realistic. So no.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that you mentioned the Twitter thing. Is with Twitter, like, now you got to subscribe to the premium channel.
It's like a check thing.
Yeah, you got to buy it to DM some of them coaches.
Right.
So some of the coaches you can't even DM them anyway.
You can't do it anyway.
You can't even DM them anyway. So they, like I said, they should be trying to get to what you got. So what do you say to 8th graders coming into high school program? Not obviously we want all of them come to Lakes, but not specifically just the Lakes. But like, what do you say to those kids about when it comes to recruiting and what they need to do to be successful in high school, and also to those parents who maybe listen to this?
Right.
So they got a kid going to high school. So I'm one of those parents. My kid about to go to high school next year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what do you say to parents and kids about their development, how to be successful in high school level? All that.
I would definitely say, look at first of all, get connected to a kid who spent pretty much all his high school, 9th and 10th grade, 11th grade, whatever it is, but he stayed at that school the entire time. Get connected to that kid and let that kid tell you about the program. You know what I mean? Because most schools going to sell you on the good of the program, right? They're not going to sell you on the bad. They're going to sell you on the good. So you're only going to hear, that's like even in college, you're only going to hear the good. It's good to get to a guy that been there the entire time and talk. So you go to like a visit, official visit or unofficial visit. You try to talk to the person who's been to the school the entire time. Hey man, like, what's going on with the school? Let me know like how it is. Like, would you recommend this? And most people, even in college, they real. Like, they'll tell you like, oh no, this cool. That coach, man, he be tripping, bro. Right. But this one's great. You know what I mean? Whatever it may be. So get connected to lucky for us, all our kids been here the entire time. So you can talk to any one of our kids that have been here the entire time, and they gonna give you the real about every one of our coaches, what they like about it, what they don't like about it, how Coach Timo is, how Coach C is, how Coach Stuck is, how the school is, bro. You can't wear slide to school. You can't. They're gonna tell you about the good and the bad. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna just tell you about all the good. And also, I would say, look at that. Get connected to a player that spent the entire time there instead of a player who probably just transferred in there or something like that. And then second, I would say also do your own research. Look at the development. If you look at our 9th graders, 2027 class, 10th graders now, 2027 class, look at the development in that group. Look at our 28 class. Look at development in that group, and then you will see, and then do that for every program. Look at their development. Not a kid who transferred to us already. So if a kid come to us and he's already was like that, we didn't develop that kid.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We didn't develop him at all. But if you look at what we have done from our 20 and our 27, schools probably do it anyway because, schools recruit. High school recruit our kids. So, just like any, we have, I'll show y'all text messages.
Right.
Schools recruiting us, our
Crazy,
kids, whatever.
Man.
And let me put that out there as well. Listen. Our kids, it's a community school, man. It's a community school. So we're like father figures to the kids, and these kids are like brothers. So that being said, if you're a father, you know, most coaches are, if something happened to your child or something come across, you know, whatever, the child going to tell the father what's going on, right? They have an idea. So spin that forward to Palm Beach Lakes. You know, when you inbox our kids, man, or you test them, whatever, we quickly, so if you test them at 3:30, we probably get the screenshot at 3:35. You know what I mean? And then when we get the screenshot, it goes in our coaches group chat, because, you know, we see the school, we see what they're saying and stuff like that. It's crazy to me, you know, not just my son, but just all of them, like, just end of the days, you know, the comments they be saying, man, like, I mean, nothing negative towards Lake's program, because most kids in the county understand that Lake's look different than it looked 2 years ago. You know, it's building. But when it says stuff like, you know, come here and build your legacy here, you know, and our kids looking at it like, what you mean, man? You transferred in there, so how you gonna tell me to come? You know what I'm saying? To be a legacy, you know what I mean? Like, no, my legacy is being built where I can't. You know, I live in this community. I go to this community school, so I don't even know how I got to that, but just understand that. So that's what we can start at with that. But definitely understand, like, we understand, but, you know, and we not in the business of putting coaches out and stuff like that. We don't do that. You know, I wouldn't get that, and I won't also, you know, with coaches as well. If kids decide to come into our school, they come into our school. It's nothing. I can't go out there in front of the mission and tell kids don't come in here. You know, so I understand if one of our kids did leave. You know, I don't blame that school for that kid going to that school. You know what I'm saying? I just hope you just take care of the kid and stuff like that. But I know the coaches can't go out there and tell the kid don't come to their school. You know what I mean? So I'm not looking at it from that standpoint. I'm just talking about specifically, you know, just letting y'all know that the minute that it happens, we get that conversation, that somebody trying to get them to go to a different school or whatever like that. And the crazy part is, which I already knew it was like that, you know, they send the athlete. So it's a lot of times not even the coach, you know, the coach tell the kid, you go tell the, you know, whatever. Right. So, you know, we just said and we move on to the next thing. But you know, end of the day, you know, we've been blessed. None of our kids have left. We've been blessed that, you know, our kids are kind of locked in with us, and we have a bunch of 28 and 27 guys. I think 26, we're going to probably return about 7 or 8. You know, this probably be our smallest senior class. Right. You know, 7 or 8 guys in the 26 class.
We got a bunch of
No, we don't have no 26s like that. So most of our guys are 27, 28s, and, you know, they're guys that's locked in with us now. Will we lose a guy here and there every night? Yeah, we probably will. You know what I'm saying? We probably will, just like any other school. You know what I mean? So we probably will. We just try to reverse that number, and that's what we did. We came here and we reversed that number, that not 20 guys leaving, you know, in 1 year. When I say 20 guys, I'm talking about 20 guys left in 1 year, not just over time with over 3 years. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about 20 guys left in 1 year. And we're climbing back from that, you know what I'm saying? And so you know, the big picture is there. We got to kind of see it that way. I wish we didn't have to. You know what I mean? You add those 20 guys back in the last 3 classes, Lace look different. You know what I'm saying? Lace look different, you know, from just, you know, we able to keep our 9th and 10th graders, probably not 10th, but keep our 9th graders, you know, pretty much on JV. But we wasn't, you know, we wasn't afforded that because we came in, we were so depleted, man. Like, we were so depleted. You know, like I said, our first year, we probably had 30 guys on the varsity team. Compared to last year, we took the number up to like 40 or 50 on the team. So it's a little different.
You know, a couple more as we get ready to close here. The transfer portal, you know, we talked about it for high school wise, but the transfer portal for college, I mean, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, but some people know, some people don't know. But how does that transfer portal go about hurting the high school system when it comes to recruiting? You know what I'm saying?
I think the colleges are dealing with what high school been dealing with for a while. You see what I'm saying? You got guys quitting. You got guys was head coaches leaving. I think Gus just did it at Florida State, and then Kelly did it last year, right? And went to Ohio State OC. The
Yeah,
one that was at UCLA.
Yep.
So he did it. Like he's like, I just go be an assistant because this is crazy.
And
then Gus just did it. I'll be an assistant. Matter of fact, the year before that, the guy was at Kent, left Kent State and went to Colorado, right? He was a head coach. And so they're dealing with what we've been dealing with, forever. Like just the whole opening door of kids come in, come out. You got to coach what you got to coach what you got. That part is funny to me because like they're saying what the high school coach has been talking about the entire time when you talking about just this open enrollment thing. You know what I mean? Between open enrollment, the kids get to go where they want to go to school at. The kid last year left Central after week 4 when he played at Somerset. Week 5 or week 4, whatever. Now he came from Somerset, which is crazy. So you can't really knock what happened with Gunn's situation because Central tucked I ain't gonna say Central tucked the kid. The kid left Somerset and went to Palm Beach Central, played a year and went back to his his original school. But he did it like week 4, which was the first time we seen something like that happen.
Crazy.
That a kid left in the middle of the year like that to go back to a school. Now they have not done it in college yet. I don't think they could do that, right? They can't
they gotta be there.
Okay. So with high school, that's
not
crazy.
Not yet anyway.
Right. In high school, you could play 4 games, right? 4 is the max or something like that.
I think it's 3.
3 games is the max, and then you can transfer in the middle of the year to another school. You feel like, okay, we 0-3, or we, looking kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and go to a 3-0 team. That's crazy to even think that it happened. But yeah, he went and did that and got cleared to play. So they're dealing with what that. So they're dealing with that. So now I don't fault the colleges because let's be realistic, right? So they're using it high school terms. So we get so say you could go and recruit, or you could bring kids in, or push kids out. Say you had that that power to do that. So we get a kid that's coming from 8th grade, play Little League football. So he don't know how the weight room situation works. He ain't, body ain't developed yet. He don't know the long hours, the 3 to 6:30 at night. You know what I'm saying? And he don't know that the practicing, the film study, we see the install hours, and you'll make a certain amount of hours on install. You're not. So he don't know about none of that. He just know to come out here on Saturday, because Little League games on Saturdays. Come out here on Saturday and play, and then go to practice like Monday through Thursday for a couple of hours, and he know that kind of stuff, right? Ain't no most teams, ain't no huddle and all that other stuff. So you can get one of those kids. Or you can get a kid coming from another school that been in the weight room program that understand how high school football, how everything works in the speed of the game. So you don't have a certain amount of opportunities or a certain amount of scholarships. So do we take the middle school kid coming from 8th to 9th and develop him, or do we take the kid coming from 10th grade going to 11? You know what I'm saying? Do we take that? You see what I'm saying? So same way the high school coach got complaining about the transfer portal, you would do it the exact same way if that was the opportunity that you had when it came to Little League and high school. Because most high school guys don't want to develop now. How many times a coach will look around and see he ain't got nothing coming back and say, I'm stepping down because, man, I want to spend more time with my family. Come on. Every coach, and I'm saying some might be legit, but I would say this. If you had something coming back, if you had powerful guys and stuff like that coming back, the team like it may make a good run, you ain't putting your resignation in. You'll wait till that year over with and say, I'm gonna get through this year first. And then then I want to spend more time with my family. You see what I'm saying? But most of them are doing it based on just they looking around, ain't nothing really going on. Let me go look at some other opportunities. Whether me take a job as an assistant at a private school somewhere, or me go to the road, Georgia, wherever, whatever your opportunities are, you take it. You see what I'm saying? So some of these high school guys will be doing the exact same thing the colleges are doing when it comes to that Porter situation. But I would say this to the, and I'm not, like I said again, I'm in the same brotherhood, same as all of us, when it comes to this coaching thing. You have to develop the kid into the situation that he can go play early at a Power 4 level. You look at the Chaminade kids that love Chaminade. Jeremiah Smith was playing high school football last year. Right. If he's not the best receiver in the country, so he was playing high school football last year and played all 4 years at Chaminade, right? At least 3 of the 4 he played there, right? And then the kid that's at NC State starting quarterback.
Yeah.
He was playing high school football last year.
Get the receiver, Alabama.
JoJo Trader, high school football last year. Saquon Patterson, high school football last year.
Was it Williams? Get it, Alabama? Ryan Williams?
High school football last year. They were developed. And the safety that's at Georgia.
I forgot his name. But yeah, him.
Yeah, him. He playing high school football last year. So those kids got to be developed, in high school that they ready to go play at the college level right now. Or they going to say, no, I got a kid ready to come in. I don't have the time to develop him right now because, I may be out of here or whatever it may be, or
right.
One of these kids may, I don't know. I try to come develop and he gone after his freshman year. You see what I'm saying? So he never get developed. You know what I mean? So I don't really knock it because now the NCAA, they're the problem. The college coach is not the problem.
They're adjusting to the system.
Right. But and what I'm saying, what I'm seeing right now is that you got the high school coaches attacking the college coaches on Twitter. You see what I'm saying? So the college coaches are fighting back, saying like, "How you faulting us?
Right.
We don't have time to develop." Same thing in NFL, right? With the draft, I'd rather go free agency because I don't have the time to develop a quarterback because I'm gonna be fired after year 2.
Right.
I think they just got rid of Mayo after
year 1.
New England Patriots.
The first year. This is the first year.
Come on, man. After Bill won 4 games, Bill Belichick won 4 games the year before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So come on, man. Like, how you gonna? They don't have the time to develop.
Because they said they fired him because he won the last game. They were trying to tell him to tank the last game, but like, come on.
So the man don't have time to develop. So I don't get the whole thing of what the high school coach attacking the college coaches and telling them they don't want to develop, they don't want to da 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 da. But it's the system that they're put in because they have to. They have that choice. You see what I'm saying? So if I have that choice, just like if the high school coach have that choice, they're not, unless their program is already kind of up and running, they're not doing it. Right. If you probably one of these 7 programs in the state, St. Thomas, the Lakelands and stuff like that, if you're not in those top Venice Beach, if you're not in those top 7, that your program already up and running, that you can't afford to say, okay, let me just focus on the 8th grader coming to 9th grade, whatever it may be. You could do that when you're already up and running. You see what I'm saying? Because your program already kind of going that direction. But if you had the choice, you would do the exact same way of saying, no, we ain't going to spend a scholarship on this 8th grader because we got a scholarship for this kid who transferring in that's a 10th grader already. You see what I'm saying? So I don't fault the college coaches, but I do fault the NCAA system.
Yeah, I mean, even when I was talking to the 8th graders a couple weeks ago, I was like, man, you need to get somewhere where you can play early, because that's kind of where, like, even with recruiting, like, you need to get recruited early. You know what I'm saying? Like, college coaches coming in, if they looking for somebody, you're looking at a young guy. Okay, this guy young. He already 6 foot. He already doing whatever. He 8th grader. You know what I'm saying? Because your recruiting clock starts as soon as you get in high school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the longer you take to get recruited, the less chances you is to get into a big school.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to.
That makes sense, and that's kind of. I think that's kind of the same thing I was saying with the whole thing about you getting, like, you got to get those reps.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And you got to look at the classes before you that was getting those reps, because, like you said again, if you wait till you're a junior to start develop or start showing it on the film, that is too late in the recruiting game. You got to get on that board. Quickly. Your 9th, your 10th grade, spring, stuff like that. You got to get on that board then. Yeah. You know what I mean? You try to get on that board your junior year, going to your senior year, bro. It's I don't care. You go out there and snap and be all world. Right. You're not on the board. You know what I'm saying?
Years ago, a kid could be just coming in, only play one year high school football, snap, go D1. It don't happen like that.
Don't happen no more.
You know what I'm saying?
No, you gotta be doing this for almost 2-3 years. Right. You know what I'm saying? It just don't work. Shouts out to Jerry. You know what I mean? He comes. He be on the early. He be on the 9th, 10th. He be on it. You know what I'm saying? Because he understand. I can't wait till these kids or juniors and seniors do this, because they're not gonna take a look at them. And it's no fault to the high school coach, because you may have a kid already in that position, but like you said, the 8th graders that are coming in, you gotta understand. Your body has to be ready to play early. If you talking about going Power 4 and stuff like that, Power 5, we ain't too many too many athletes that we knew that were Division I guys that wasn't playing that early. Right. You see what I'm saying? Most guys we've been around that went to Division I was playing pretty much the latest with their 10th grade. You know what I'm saying? So they was playing like that, right?
Coming in as a freshman, playing.
Right.
And you want to go to a place where you can do that.
Right.
Especially if you're a quarterback.
Right.
Don't go to somewhere where they already got a quarterback.
You sitting down.
Yeah, right. I mean, even West Boca, they got 2 quarterbacks, but it's like,
He played both of them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but you know, when you look at them recruiting,
there you go.
It's gonna be a little different.
It's gonna be a little different. And you know, and to go back to, I mean, go off such a little bit about the West Boca, because it's another thing I want to talk about, the West Boca thing. When it came to, you know, because I'm around a little county with different, you know, I hear different things with coaches and stuff like that, and you don't see a lot of push or a lot of attention is given to what West Boca did, because, you know, quote unquote, we got this perception that West Boca is not a Palm Beach kind of team. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's crazy that, you know, coaches be that envious of a program and to put it out like, you know, oh, that's not that, you know, that those kids is not living in Palm Beach or whatever it may be, or however they got there. How many teams down in Broward and Dade got Palm Beach got kind of players?
Too many of them.
So
too many of them.
Well, we give them credit. You know, when they win state, we give them credit and say that particular school or that county and Broward and Dade is running everything and stuff like that. West Boca, this man went in West Boca. That West Boca probably had West Boca, Lakes, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, Olympia Heights.
That was on that level.
Right.
Before you got
one of the worst programs in the county. You know what I mean? And even in the area that West Boca is in, like, they don't have a good zone for kids. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so you know those kids, you know, it's not in a good zone for football. And those kids, you know, however they got there, whatever they got going on, whatever the system is, you know, it had to be legit because, you know, it got cleared. Right. You know what I'm saying? For them to participate. And the best running back, probably one of the best running backs in the country, he don't even play, like, he probably played 4 games this year. So he didn't play the whole playoffs. You know what I mean? That they won without him. So, you know, it's all respect to what that coach did and what the program is, man. And I consider it as a Palm Beach kind of team that won it. I consider what Jack did. Last year, they won a game for state. That was a success. And I looked at what Atlantic did, you know, without a play here and there. I think they probably would have got there.
Should have been.
You're right. You know what I'm saying? I give credit to that. So I know some people look at them and say, oh, they got to transfer this. Man, end of the day, well, listen, every high school team that win the state pretty much got somebody come into that program, and I get those programs credit, man. They representing the county in the right way, man.
All right, man. Last thing, why Lakes, man? Why Lakes?
Development, man. The biggest thing for us is development. You want to come here, you want to be developed as a young man, to be able to go into the real world. You want to be developed as an athlete. And it's no better place, man. You come here, man, it's legacy here, man. You could come back here 20 years from now. I'm a testament to that. You come back here 20 years from now. Like, Lakes is what it's, you know, Lakes is, come to one of our games. You win, lose, or draw. Come to one of our games, look at the atmosphere of our games and see how the community is. Look at our administration team, man. Like, they all family up there. The school body is a family, man. Lakes, man, it's different, man. It's different than any other high school in our county, man. Like, Lakes is where it's at, man.
All right, man. That's the Coach Timo Show. I'm Coach C, and that is Coach Timo.
All right.
Yep.